Well, it was around 2003 in the summertime, and that was about 4 or 5 years after we graduated from film school, me and all my friends. One of my friends from film school, Meredith Dalt, so she came up with this idea where she wanted to do a 1-minute movie about her neighbor. Her neighbor at the time was Hurricane Carter from the movie of the name The Hurricane. So she thought it would be kind of cool to just do a really short movie. So she was like, that's easy, I can just do that. But just to give it a little bit of extra oomph, she came to this party and said, let's all make one, like everybody at the party make one-minute movie about your neighbor. And she even had us sign contracts and all this other stuff, so that there'd be kind of this group mentality of like, we're all gonna go do it, so nobody gets to fail, right? And I don't know exactly how that information got out on the internet, but it did get out, and then suddenly we were getting emails from people in Japan and New Zealand, South Africa, all over the world being like, well, we wanna make 1-minute movies about our neighbors, so we might as well throw a screening. And then suddenly we were a film festival. Like, it was that quick. We're gonna tell you what to make it about, and we're gonna tell you how long it has to be, and we're gonna give you a certain amount of time. It's like a school project. Like that first year, the theme was neighbors, but the theme changes every year. And this year, the theme, well, we had 2 call for submissions this year. One was social, and one was media. So we have combined them for the show into social media. We had some 1-minute film exercises when we were in film school, and then, and also when making these movies, I found that if I went with my first impulse, it was usually the right thing. And I think your instinct, you know, that's the nice thing about getting these one-word themes. You hear the word social, instinctively you're just gonna come up with something right then. That word means something to you already, and if you follow that thread, I think you're gonna come up with something that's a little bit more unique and interesting. And I mean, again, the core concept of give them a length restriction and give them a theme so that it encourages like spontaneous creativity, and it limits you in a way so that you don't have to, you know, the hardest thing in the world is the blank page. The screening this year is a little bit different from previous years because it is our first year back after a bit of a hiatus. In addition to the new works, we're also going to be showing 30 favorites from previous years of the show. That'll be curated by yours truly. It's interesting, this year is kind of more of a mood year. We got a lot that are sort of visual essays or tone poems. We got a lot of sort of looks at, you know, a day in the life of a street in Toronto and stuff like that, or kind of more just moody pieces, music and image-based piece. There is some narrative. We've got a filmmaker who did not 1, but 2 films for us this year, and they're both in the festival. One of them is called LOL Women, and it's a takeoff on Little Women, but it's done with entirely with lol speak.
Q and more pew pew.
He thought he was going to pone.
Pone hard.
There's 2 horrible sides to this coin. One is that we made this festival to get filmmakers off their ass and actually making work. The other side of it is, and that happened, right? Like filmmakers definitely did that, and it became part of just their year, was they'd make a little 1-minute movie for us while they were doing stuff otherwise. But then this flip side happened with some people where every year they'd come to us and be like, well, you know, what's the theme gonna be next year? I wanna work on my movie. And it's like, well, work on a movie now. Like, do another movie while you're waiting for us to tell you what to do, you know? Like, don't assemble so many of the resources in your life that you make 1 movie per year. Just do it in a couple of days and then work on something else. Again, the whole concept here was just to keep the axle greased, not to be the axle itself.
Right. That's
yeah.